Swell Trackers, it is Saturday, the 5th of November. I'm GQ, and I am back from my surf trip, and let's get on out there. The North Pack has got plenty of small stuff, but it's still going to be overall below average. Here's what we're looking at, the blues and the high pressures. And you see a couple of these compact lows moving around as we try to get into winter. And the long range is looking good, as you can see a couple fatty hinted at by the models. Let's stop this guy and take a look at what we've got currently. Again, high pressures firmly established and sticking around. To have these low pressures coming off of Japan, moving up over the Aleutians, and then we have some systems coming down off of California and actually pushing out our way for some northeast swell around the 10th, 11th of the month. All in all, though, again, we're below average. The system that generated the swell that we're seeing today, that will build up to 4 to 6 feet with 16, 17 second periods for the HIC Pro, is not really showing up on the models anymore. And what we have here are these systems moving down the west coast, and that'll be pulling in waves for them, but not much for us until we get out a few days. Let's stop the animations here. From this low pressure off Japan, we'll be seeing some stuff Wednesday the 9th or 10th, and will not be anything much over 3. Time moves on, we'll see a little something from this guy who moved down here from a little bit of a northeast sideband swell towards the middle of the month, and then we can see that guy moving our way off of, again, the west coast. That'll push us up into that 2 to 4 plus zone in the northeast, all towards the middle of the month. Let's take a look at the swell periods now. You see the swell filling in for Kauai first, and then us as time goes on. The swell again peaks this afternoon into tonight and begins to fade out on Sunday. So the HIC Pros, 2 days left. Got to grab the swell because there's not a whole lot afterwards. We see a little bit of a swell trying to come in here. We're again midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's just going to have 11, 12 second periods. We have some other systems trying to move. There's that northeast swell that I was talking about. This is all going to be happening in about 7 days from now. So around the 11th, 12th, and 13th, mixing in with some west-northwest swell. Nothing near advisory levels. Let's go down under now, click in the animations. We have a little bit of fetch there on the east coast of New Zealand. We may see something pop up from that up to 2 feet around the 12th to 13th. Then we get this system here that actually consolidates pretty good, moves up for maybe a 2.5 foot swell, and that one's more like for the 16th, 17th of November. And the southern shores are definitely not done with us yet. Take a look at that. It's a pretty strong, pretty big storm down there by the Ross Ice Shelf, and we'll have to keep an eye on this one. This is happening in Model Fantasy about 7 to 8 days out. Now let's go and take a look at this swell periods down under. Will be overshadowed or obfuscated by the swell trains, the swell periods shown on the models coming down off the North Pack. And they do not cancel each other out. As the time marches on, you can see still we're looking at some swell to be pumping up from that last storm we saw, and that gives us a chance of something at about 14 days out from now. Okay, taking a look at Storm Surf's jet stream. All in all, you see that big blue area here. That's the high pressure sticking around. The jet stream's very zonal or west to east, but there are some lows coming in every 2 or 3 days off of that, and the long range looks like that jet stream's really trying to drop off Japan and consolidate. You see here, trying to get out there. It does meet with the high pressure, trying to move the high pressure off to the east, and that's what we want, to get those storm tracks closer past the date line and close to Hawaii in that 1,000 to 1,500 mile zone away from us, so there's less decay time as the storms travel in the open ocean. Down under, you can see that little bit of meridional or equatorial bound flow here in the early stages of the 7-day forecast. That's great news, but then it does break up and go zonal. We'll have to wait and see what we get from that one. Let's call it 2.5 feet, again, towards the middle of the month. And the North Shore and the North Pack really trying to improve, but that high pressure's creating a little bit of problems. Let's take a look at the surface charts to show you specifically what I was talking about. These high pressures up here are creating quite a gradient over the islands, keeping the trades in that fresh to strong category. There's a cold low over the islands here. I'll show you that when we get to the water vapor loops. in the upper regions. This creating instability in the region with the chance of thunderstorms. And that's going to last. This cold pool is going to stick around through middle of the week. It's hovering. And so you add in the high pressure gradients, strong trade winds, unstable atmosphere, and we'll have to wait and see what Mother Nature brings on a day-to-day basis. Pressures, again, staying pretty far away from us and then trying to drop down in the future and move off Japan latitude a little bit closer, a little bit further south. All right, there is that big spinner up in the upper regions, that cold low, creating the chance for heavy rain and thunderstorms. Haven't seen any yet, but we will keep an eye on that. Drilling down, you can see an easterly flow to the lower regions and a lot of cloud cover from the upper regions to the lower regions. But all in all, so far, pretty dry right now. Highs about 80, lows in the 60s. It's chilly and a lot of rain off to our southwest. And that's catch you back here Thursday on your local swell tracker. Mahalo.